Let's see if I'm live. Am I live? Hey, guys. So I'm just actually doing this in my news feed. How are you guys doing? So, hey, guys. Welcome. So, I know it. You guys are like, what the heck have you been at this weekend with this whole Nurture November? I know I owe you guys a couple lives, and trust me, they're coming. I had a backup plan for this, right? So, welcome. Hey, you guys. My name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor, and what I do, I'm the CEO and founder of Ashe Wellness, and what I do is that I help stressed out women who are attempting to find balance, to establish and maintain healing habits so that they can be healthy and happy. How do we do that? Is that we distress the mess by testing and not guessing, right? And so this whole month, if you're watching this again, you want to make sure that if you're watching live, say hey, communicate, chat with me, ask questions, be involved. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay and make sure you do the same thing. If this information resonates with you, then please do hit that share button. The reason why is because this is Nurturing November and we're running to do 30 lives in 30 days. But what that means is that we're going to go through different videos and then pick people who are being engaged and they're going to win prizes. So they're going to win prizes from us. They're going to win products, services, not only from just me, but a plethora of my other practitioner friends as well. So if you're tuning in, you definitely want to say, hey, this is not one of those lives where you want to just kind of hit that scroll button. You definitely want to make sure that you're tuning in and you're having a communication and you're chatting with me as well, right? So, hey, everybody, right? Welcome. And I know I missed a couple days, but it was like on purpose and we planned it. So it's already like pre-recorded videos and I will be uploading and launching those, right? So just it's like it's okay. We got it, right? I wanted to make sure that I was resting my voice, had been doing a lot of talking, a lot of recording. See, so making sure we we getting this stuff together, right? And so the topic of this actual live and the prompt is why testing and not guessing is so like vital and key to your actual wellness. And so if you know me, we're gonna give you 3 points and always have a bonus for you, and then we're gonna tell you how you can contact us and go from there. But the reason why testing is so important to me is because I have been a wellness practitioner for years. And so I felt like as a wellness practitioner, as a holistic health practitioner that learned different modalities, I felt like there was a missing piece to the puzzle. And the missing piece of the puzzle to me was that I felt like with my clients, people would message me and I just got it yesterday and had to correct the person that was like, hey, we don't do that. We have like protocols and stuff in place for you to do that. But it had got to the point where I felt like everybody who I was doing something on, I was guessing with them. Hey, you can try this. Hey, you can see if this works. This is a product that I know that does this, right? And so I felt like it was a whole bunch of trying and guessing going on, but I felt like it was like, okay, but as a wellness practitioner, this is great. I love this, what I'm doing. I love helping people and I have the resources, but I'm having them trial. I was doing too much trial and error in my book for it to be something that I felt was beneficial. And my clients were like, okay, yes, I'm saying some benefits, and then after a while, people will have not compliance because they're like, okay, we're not getting to the root cause of stuff, and B, it was something that we're trying. It wasn't necessarily like beneficial to them. It was something that was due and put for the masses. It was like, okay, well, the masses are doing this, or in general, this is what it takes, right? So if somebody would come to me for information or something like that, it was basically like, okay, this is what you could take for information. Oh, you could do turmeric. Well, what if it wasn't turmeric that they needed, right? It was a whole bunch of trial and error. And so in my training, I learned about Ayurveda. I learned about Chinese medicine. I learned about, functional medicine, conventional medicine, ortho molecular medicine, and so all these different modalities, herbs and essential oil, like all these different modalities that we had to learn in the actual program. That I chose when I found out about functional medicine. I was like, hey, that functional medicine piece to me is key because it allows me to be able to test stuff and not guess, right? And so yes, I still use a lot of those other modalities. You guys gonna see me even using more like the traditional Chinese medicine, and we use essential oils, and we use like homeopathy and all those kind of things. So we learn about those different things and use them where they're applicable, right? Flower essences and all this good jazz, right? And so learn about those different things, but then you say, okay, well, how do I get to the point of knowing which one of those I'm supposed to use? Or when do they apply, right? Instead of guessing and trying, yes, people usually kind of go with more one modality they kind of like more than other, and I have certain ones that I love more than others, right? But the whole piece for me was the whole concept of trying. We were guessing about different stuff. And so for me, functional medicine was that missing piece of the puzzle that was being built, because I felt like, okay, we don't know what this person was born with, right? And so testing allows me to be able to do that. So when some people are like, if you recently reached out to me, you have heard me say, invest in yourself, do a scan. They're not expensive. Then we can start doing some testing, some more in-depth testing that'll let us know where we need to go. Stop with this guessing stuff, because if you message me, ask me about information, if you message me, asking me about like certain things or this and that, I'm going to tell you that you need to get a scan so we know where it's at, right? We know we need to pinpoint, and no, that's not to say, oh, let's spend money, let's do this. It's actually to save you money, because what if we get this supplement, it's not something that you need, or vice versa, and all this, or you need more of this thing, or that's what's showing up, but it's not actually the root cause of what's causing you to have the issue. It's a lot of times where people, like in some of the other practitioners that we have in the Wellness Shits Collectives, hey to the WCC fam if you're watching, because I shared it to the page, but there are a lot of with the other collective members, we have learned as we look at some of these scans that we look at, people will come to us for certain things. People come to me for the functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and now they're starting to come to me for auricular therapy, like ear acupuncture, right? You'll see us promoting more of that. But they come to me because of stress management, which means that I deal with adrenal health. So a lot of times when they having all those symptoms that deal with adrenal health, the stressed out, their rainfall, fatigue, hormones looking all crazy, sex drive, and all this kind of stuff, blood sugar. So anything dealing with the adrenals, that's what we deal with. That's our niche, that's our specialty. But the other ladies in the actual collective deal with other things. And so we notice that once sometimes somebody comes to us, sometimes we go and have a collective, like especially our own, because you may come to me for women's health, or you may come to me for adrenals, and when we actually do your scans, we're like, hey, that's where it's showing up at, but did you know rooted beneath that is this and this and this? So let's go back 2 miles, let's go back 4 miles, let's go back 6 miles from what you're actually coming to show us and what's the problem. And we're able to do that because of the testing. So one of the main things like one of the 3 points that we have as far as like why testing and not guessing is vital is because first we get to actually show you. We get to show you. It's not general. You're not guessing. You're not trying. We're not saying the masses are doing this. Everybody's doing this diet. Everybody's doing this program. Everybody's doing. It's more customized, individualized to you. Yes, there are certain general things as far as our protocols. Go to bed at 10 before 10, right? Or get so many hours of sleep, or start doing this for stress reduction, right? Or what type of exercises to do, right? For your meals, like it's certain basic things that we can do, but knowing those type of things. So like doing a wellness scan, or even something as simple as DNA. You were born with certain SNPs and certain variations from your mom and dad. You're the only one that's like you. And so when were born with these things, and then the subsequent so many years that you've been on this earth, things have happened to you, environment, stressors, life, how you ate, all these different things are like coming in environment. Everything that's coming towards you has caused these different, can either cause those mutations to act up or stay dormant or do whatever. But it's important to kind of know those things. Like, okay, I read and like get geeked out and scienced out about this stuff all the time. I was reading about the stress gene today, right? And the stress gene actually is a gene that is, you can have a mutation of how you actually react to stress. And that's one of the reports that we could pull for you if we do the DNA testing. But that stress gene actually was actually related, and they're doing testing on that actual SNP or variation mutation code to say, hey, how people who have a variation with dealing with stress, how are they dealing with COVID? Because that's a stressor to the body. And so when we think about that, that's why you hear me always preach that everything is a stressor. You can't just think about stress as this thing that is, from my job or from my spouse or from my friends or from my kids, something external. Everything is a stressor. And so how your body responds to stress could be environmental, it could be dietary, it could be that's your stressor could be from inflammation, it could be from several myriad different things that can actually cause you to, emotional stress, right? Environmental stress, all these different things can actually cause you that. So the principle of why testing and I guess is because we get to show you. The same things that are going to stress me out are not going to stress you out the same way. My foods that I eat may stress me a certain way, and it may not show up that same way for you. And so finding out different things that you're supposed to eat. That's why we say we distress the mess. Once we test, we're able to do that, right? So the main thing is being able to show you and not do stuff that are general, like, oh, the general population is doing this, or the general population is doing that, or for the information for this, or for cardiovascular we're doing this, or for your adrenals we're doing this. Being able to show you and use actually what your body is saying you need to actually create your protocols. And so the next one is usually when the reason why we test and not guess is because it's vital, is because usually that's where you get affirmed and confirmed, or confirmed and affirmed, right? A lot of times people come to me and say, hey, I've been telling my doctor this for years, or I've been having this issue, it's been chronic and repeating, they keep giving me antibiotics for this or giving me medicine for this, and I've been on it for years, and I keep saying it's something else. And so once you actually are able to see different things, you're like, we get this all the time. This is the sound that we wait for. Oh, wow, that makes sense. Wow, that aha, the confirms, being affirmed of the things that you know that are already happening with your body. Because most of the time, like we said, by the time it shows up to a physical level, you know what's going on, but it's deeper rooted, and so you may not know what is causing it or where it's been caused. But a lot of times those symptoms, if you're having chronic fatigue, if you're having brain fog, if your hormones are off, right? If your your reaction to stress is off. If you can't sleep. If your libido is off, right? If you will tell if your blood sugar is like too high, too low. So these are different things that these are symptoms of. You can feel those different things. If you have inflammation in the gut, or you eat something and it's wrong, or you having heartburn, those symptoms. You may not know why you're having them or where they're starting from, but you're having them. So to be able to test stuff and not guess and say, maybe I'm having it because of this. You may think you're having heartburn because you ate this pizza, and it could be a food inversion. You don't know what in the pizza it was. Or it could be that you have gut bugs and they're getting activated by some of the stuff that you're eating, right? So these are different reasons why you want to definitely test and stop guessing about certain things that are going on with you, so that you can pinpoint the root cause of stuff. Like you're putting a Band-Aid on it, and then you're ripping the Band-Aid off. You're putting a Band-Aid on it, you're ripping it off, and you're not being a confirmed or affirmed. You're like, okay, I know I'm feeling this way. I felt this way for a while. I don't understand why, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is the reason why we test and not guess is so that we can create those protocols that I talked about. We test and not guess, and then we distress the mess. MESS is an acronym. These are protocols that we set up for you for MESS: meals, exercise, stress, sleep management. Like these are actual, and we'll add on additional S sometimes for the supplementation. So we distress the mess, but those protocols get catered to you. Yes, we have templated stuff that will, like I said, they're going to bed at a certain time, or sometimes exercise and stuff like that. But if you're going through adrenal fatigue, and depending on where you are in the HbAs, or where you are, how severe it is, or what you're needing, some of the things I may recommend for you is like, hey, you need to stop exercising out this way completely. You may need to go get on some Qigong, or some yoga, or some Pilates, or some Bari Blend. The heavier workout may not do that. The next person, I may not have to tell them to do that so much. They may still be able to do an exercise based off their actual testing. That lets us know that, hey, you have leaky gut, or you have symptoms of intestinal permeability, or you have a gut bug. So because while we're eradicating the gut bug, you need to make sure you're doing this. Or when you go to sleep, you may need to do this. So once we have basic principles that we stand on, that's great. That's general to everybody. But when we actually do the testing, we can tell you that's basis, that stuff that's centered off of you, and not saying, hey, okay, well, should I be doing this and that? Like I said, based off your DNA test, we could tell how your body's going to respond to anaerobic and aerobic type of exercises based off the SNPs of variations. What type of diet or eating things are going to be conducive to you? What type of, how your body is going to methylate or process or absorb vitamins and minerals. How your body going to respond to sleep, how your body's going to respond to stress. These are things that you can find out based on your actual DNA. So outside of ancestry and where I come from and what percentage of this I'm this and what percentage of this, yes, we do that. That's actually a bonus for us. The baseline that we use is for health things, because we're able to deep dive and see those different things. And then that's baseline. Your DNA is never going to change. The other test is saying subsequent to that, your so many years on this earth, 30, 40, whatever years you've been on this earth, then you are actually, this is what's happening now. And so those are the things, because you want your protocols to be based on you. And so some people wonder, hey, I did this keto diet, or I did this, I've done Atkins, I've done this, and then my spouse or my friends, they do it and it works for them. It doesn't work for me, or it works for me and it didn't work for them. Why? Because each one of us are different. And so certain things are going to be beneficial to the way your body processes and those type of things. Like you could be a slow metabolizer, I could be a fast metabolizer, I could be a, nocturnal, somebody else. So those type of things, those they do matter about how your body is actually processing things. So the reason why you test and not guess is so that you can actually create protocols and lifestyle changes and habits, establishing healing habits, quote unquote, the habits, so that they're based off you, right? And so those are the three things that why we say that testing and not guessing is important. And of course, the bonus one is find your Ashe so that you can realize that you can heal you. Seeing yourself on an actual test or seeing something come up on a scan or seeing something come up on the lab is it's for some people it's like, oh. Especially some of those scans that go on the energy level or deeper level than the physical. Like it's more like, okay, let me see what meridians are blocked. Or this, I didn't know this trauma caused this, or blockage was here. Yeah, tell your business and it kind of brings some things up for you. But seeing yourself allows you to have the, what I say, not applied knowledge, not knowledge about you, is power. Not applied knowledge is power. Applied knowledge about you is power. Gaining your Ashe in that way, knowing that you have the knowledge about you on a deeper level. You're able to take these things to your physician. You're able to start creating those lifestyle changes, and you become empowered to say, "Okay, I can heal myself. I have those things." Though, even if you start saying those affirmations, the way you change your you talk to yourself, your self talk can become different. If you accept those things and say, "You know what? I gotta accept this. This is where we are. Look, I'm gonna accept this, and we're gonna move forward and go forward from here." And so, testing and not guessing about those things allows you to see that. Because if you're telling me that, hey, I got information, or I have gut stuff here, or somebody else could have it because they have food sensitivity, somebody else could have it because it's a gut bug, or somebody could have their cortisol levels are off. That you could be sleeping because having sleep issues because you can't stay asleep. Somebody else may not fall asleep. So those protocols and things are different. But realizing when you have been shown you, is very key and it's very powerful to be able to see those different things. And so that's the bonus as far as being able to see yourself, to find your Ashe, to say, hey, let me apply this knowledge that I found out about me. It's about me. It's not everybody who took this or doing this, or everybody who has this disorder, or everybody who has this. Because you can get a diagnosis from a doctor and you're like, okay, now I fit in this group, but what about me? How does that apply to me? I know they're saying do these things, but how does it apply to me? So applied knowledge about you to us at Ashe Land is what's powerful, right? And finding your Ashe to know that you can hear yourself on that. And so some of the ways that we do, because we get asked all the time about how we actually do the testing, not guessing. One of the ways is that we have a test that is very quick and simple. It's actually voice and kinetic touch. You do not have to, like, really none of our process that we have. Like COVID has very much so solidified that our pivot was strong, wanted to a virtual practice. So basically, for none of our stuff, you ever have to leave your home. Ding. You never have to leave your home for any of our services, right? If we meet up, if you're local to us, that's the one thing. Like if you're not local to us, that doesn't matter. You still could get the services done to you, right? So like I said, one of the scans actually like is a voice and kinetic touch. You will be surprised what that actually comes up and tells you. Our second scan is actually where we actually have the scanner. So if you're local to us, we meet up and you do it, or you get one to your home and you put your hand on the disc, you'll feel the vibration, and in like 10 seconds it scans, and it gives us all types of energy fields and all kind of information, and we have to click on organs and all amazing type of stuff and show you your business, right? And then we're actually able to do it's called auricular therapy, right? Basically ear acupuncture, but that session can also be done online, because if you don't know, your ears, your face, your hands, and your feet are actually microsystems that are like many systems that are like represent the whole body, right? And so by using different things as far as treating like your systems in your ear, people estheticians usually can do it with their face. People who do like reflexology and like massage therapists do it with your hands and your feet, because those different organ systems are tied into those different things. So we use auriculotherapy or ear acupuncture because we're able to use it. Again, these things are testing, I guess, and we have software that says what do you need, and then we can show you on that virtually how you can actually treat and take care of those different things. So we have those protocols. We also do the DNA testing, where you can actually submit the kit comes to your house. If you've actually done DNA before and you can get your raw data, we can submit that into the system and get your reports. If you have not, then the test comes to your house and you're able to test it and send it in, and then we get your results. We have your consult, right? Learn about baseline stuff that's not going to change. And then the lab tests get shipped to your house. So some of the lab tests that we have, one of them is a blood test that gives us like your cholesterol, your blood sugar levels, and a couple other little things inside the test. That's like a simple prick. So just like you prick your finger to get blood sugars, it's a prick like that. A little bit more blood than the blood sugar, but that test goes in. It's a blood test, but it's a simple prick, and you send that in. That's one of them. Another one that we have is our stress and hormone panel, that you send in, that tells me basically all about your stress level. So you say my hormones are off, or I can't sleep, and melatonin is off, or how's my cortisol looking? So Corey, like, what does all that mean? We're gonna do one of these, right? Hair tissue and mineral analysis, same thing. Get a lock of your hair. That tells us about your vitamins, minerals, like heavy metals. Are you like having exposure to heavy metals and things of that nature? Another one that we do is like it's a stool sample that kind of tells us if you have gut bugs, if you have any like overgrowth of candida, bacteria, things of that nature. And then we have our test that tells us like this is a blood draw. This tells us food sensitivity. And it also tells us like different foods that you may have sensitivity to. So more than just gluten. So some people are saying, well, yeah, I know I have a sensitivity to gluten, but it could be something that, like me, I eat the same thing every day almost. And so I like doing a test, and I realized there was certain stuff that I was eating. I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to, like, those are yellow lights. I'm not gonna have to eat that as often because I was having sensitivity to that until my gut was able to heal, and then I was able to start like slowly but surely I'm incorporating those different things back into my diet. So those are different things. So like those, that's a test kit, and these things actually come to your house. And so like the only thing that you would have to go out and actually do would be the blood test. But like if you're local, you can. I have several people who we have that come to you to do blood draws if you need them. And then also in certain areas, depending on where you are, we can orchestrate for someone to like mobile phlebotomies um, to come and do that as well. So even some people are like, okay, I'm not going outside the house. I don't want to go to the lab. There's only one of our tests that you have to go out to the lab and do that, and that's our food sensitivity test. But you can also have a mobile phlebotomist come in and actually do it as well. So all those good things as far as the actual testing. So those are very simple things that you can do from your home. Send the testing in, get the results. We have those different things, and then we create those protocols. We create that distress in the mess. We create those protocols about foods that you should be eating or not eating. More of this, less of this, right? And then when you get ready to go grocery shopping, you know what to purchase and buy. You know how to do your meal plan because you're like, hey, I'm aware that I need to be mindful of this type of things, right? I can have as much of this as I want. I can have less of this. As far as your exercise, hey, should I be doing a little bit more relaxing because I need to heal? I don't need to do all that strenuous workout. Like I was gone whole, like probably like that April May time frame in June, like the summer, doing really gone whole, like a lot of workout. And so now I've had to start doing stuff like qigong and yoga and all that because I had gut inflammation and I was having to heal my gut. So I couldn't do those things that was stressing, that was a higher stress to my body until then. So now that I feel like I've got to that process of about that 3 month mark of like going into healing it, I'm going to start picking back up to doing some of those workouts. Maybe like start out a little bit slower and not go so gung ho, but I am able to pick it up and know what that feels like now, right? Stress management, doing your stress management techniques. Also with the auricular therapy, EFT tapping, meditation, mindfulness, so many different things that you can do for stress management. And then your sleep, we like set the protocol. So those are different protocols that we do. Even supplementation, if you need certain supplements, we'll be able to make suggestions of those because those come up in your results scans. Like it's so awesome and cool. And so for me, like I started the live saying that was a missing piece for me. As much as I love these different modalities and I love them, like I like talking about these things, I get geeked out about them. I get geeked out more that I'm able to say, hey, I'm not guessing when it comes to a person. I'm not having to say, well, let's try this or let's try this. It's more like, hey, this is what your body is saying it needs, and so this is what we're going to work and incorporate into the protocol. We will do this protocol for whatever the period of time allotted for whatever that actual area is. It varies, and then we will reconvene and see if we need to make adjustments as necessary. Versus saying, hey, this is a template protocol that I did, and then I'm able to, we're gonna try this, and then I guess we'll see in 2 or 3 weeks if it's gonna work. I'm not using the word trying so much, and I'm definitely, well, trying is out of my vocabulary, but we're not guessing as much, and we're definitely not trying as much because these are actual ways that you can actually show yourself to show you to be able to create those different protocols. So to me, that's why the testing and not guessing and trying and assuming and trying to figure out, it cuts some of that learning curve and it cuts frustration. One of the major benefits that people have is, besides being confirmed and affirmed and being able to be shown themselves, is that they also found out they had an ashe, so it's probably three prong, right? But then the main thing is that they stopped. The frustration is not as strong. It's not like, oh, okay, you told me to do this turmeric, and little I know you have a deficiency in that, so you probably need to have more turmeric in that, right? Right. So just because somebody tell you take turmeric for inflammation, or vitamin D for this, or vitamin C for this, how much of vitamin D do you need? You could be somebody who is like very low and you need 10,000 IU's of vitamin D. Oh, okay. Well, did you know with vitamin D three, it should be vitamin D3, not just very regular vitamin D. Oh, and did you know you should be taking vitamin D K2 with that? See, knowing how your body is actually going to process and knowing what those vitamins and those minerals, that's something that you can find out how your body's going to methylate. And are you already at a deficiency from birth? And you kind of can speculate to say, you know what, maybe I need to take two of those or double the dose. And then you start talking about sequencing and titration of when you take supplements and what type of supplements you take. Does it need to be in a pill form? Does it need to be a patch form? Do you need maybe use a tincture, a liquid? Do you need to use something else, or do you need to be like me and have tea with CBD in it? So is it one of those type of things that you need? So it's so many different layers to everybody. And so yes, like I said, there are basic protocols and there are basic things and knowledge that we can do that will get you well. Like I can give you a dress protocol or a mess protocol that everybody on this earth can do, and you will automatically, it will be over time, it will help. But then you can supersede that and what I say 10x stuff, by actually having stuff that is catered to you. How does that affect you? And so those are the benefits that we love about what we do over in Ashe Land at Ashe Wellness. And so that's what makes us super excited and geeked out. And while we, so people are like, hey, you just can't tell me what I could take. I'm like, I could tell you in general, but I'm not going to stand behind something. I just tell you in general when you could pay a couple dollars and get a scan and figure out what you need. Because what you think you need usually get confirmed, but then you're able to see deeper as to where it's coming from, right? Where does it get? Is it emotional? Is it physical? Is it more of a spiritual rep? Is it more, is it a mental? Is it a mental stressor? Is it something else that's going on, right? Is it dietary? Is it, environmental? Is it, you could be having mold or all these different things, right? Heavy metals and stuff. It could be so many different things. It's so many different things that show up the same way, right? And so, I have had people who have sweet and sour cravings. They're like, I think it's this, and I'm like, I think it's adrenal fatigue, and then we find out it's something else, and we're like, oh, okay, well that's the same symptom that could be for the same thing, right? And so you just have to be mindful that there are different symptoms that, like baseline, I know that when I hear these things, I'm like, okay, adrenals. That's why we focus on these things, but the cause of why you're having those issues could be varying for different people, and so that's why it's important. So that's why in Ashe Land and Ashe Wellness, we don't guess. we the whole thing is we distress the mess by testing and not guessing. That is why we don't guess, right? Because we have the resource and abilities, and not only in our treatment protocols that we are able to actually test, because we've combined that functional medicine with different type of other modalities and stuff like that. So it's very beneficial to have those things. And like here's some of our clients like the ahas, and even if they the simple fact of the first aha to get them to get the buy-in is that they saw themselves. It wasn't like, oh, she just pulled out a sheet and it was said that, oh, that was me. That wasn't Susie Jane, that wasn't Barbara, that wasn't Stephanie, that wasn't Tiffany. Oh, that was me, right? And so they're able to more have that applied knowledge about themselves. So after you show them is like, oh, but that's about me. That wasn't people in general, right? And so that's how how and why we believe that testing and not guessing is vital and key in your wellness journey, because you don't have to do all those things. So with that being said, for those of you who are wanting to actually do a wellness chat with us to find out what type of tests, I'm gonna just tell you there are certain tests that when we start doing lab tests, it's all in type of thing. We're not doing these piecemeals and all that. Except for probably like the blood test is the one we'll do a one-off on. But then we have different packages. We have different ways that we can do different things. So there's different ways that you could work with us and how we recommend different stuff. So definitely want to have the wellness chat to be able to say, hey, is this a good relationship for me to work with you, for you to work with us? Do I need to do something like a one-off? Do I need a la carte something? Do I need to get a package? Those things are important to be able to see so that you can have the things that you need for like lifestyle recommendations, protocols, supplements, things of that nature. So if you want to book an appointment with us, it's bit.ly/AW appointment spelled out. So it's bit.ly/AW appointment spelled out. To actually, and you're going to click on the wellness chat so that you can book our time then. to be able to figure out where we go from there and to see how we can help you find your Ashe. So, wanted to come on and talk to you guys about that, why we believe that testing and not guessing is vital to your wellness. Remember, my name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor, and guess what? Ashe, I have the power to change and make things happen, and so do you. You guys have a great rest of the evening. Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.